Hey, Spencer Sutton here with Evernest, and today I want to talk to you about the 7 things that you need to do before you rent your house. So this is something that as people start to think about renting out their property, there's a checklist of items that I'm going to walk you through, 7 main ones that I'm going to walk you through that you need to be aware of before you place your house on the market and start showing the house, and definitely before anybody moves in. You need to have all these things in order. And as you can imagine, we rent thousands of houses every single year, so these are some of the things that we're always talking to landlords about as they call us asking for advice and asking for our opinion. So you can download this checklist on our website. We have a lot of different resources. If you go to our blogs page, there's just a wealth of content there that you can download to help you if you're trying to become a landlord. If you're kind of on your journey to become a landlord, I think you'll find some great resources there. So let's get going. Number 1 is you need to get ready for property insurance, right? So you need to contact your insurance agent and talk to them about the fact that you're moving out of your primary residence, or maybe this is a house you inherited. Just talk to them about getting insurance, landlord insurance for this property. This is going to be different than your homeowner's insurance. And so they'll guide you through that, and you can plug those numbers into your spreadsheets just to make sure that, hey, the numbers still work with this right type of insurance. Shouldn't be a big deal, but definitely want to get that set up before anybody moves into the property. All right. Number 2 is, if you don't already have an accountant, find a good accountant and talk to them about the benefits of renting your property, the tax implications of renting your property. You definitely need to do this. Hopefully you already have an accountant, and if you do, just make them aware, and they'll give you some things to think about, but definitely want to have that set up. Next thing is, you're going to need to find a lease and get an attorney to review that lease. This is going to be very important for you. You want to make sure that you are doing everything according to the law. You want to make it fair for the resident, fair for you, and make sure, like I tend to think that 12-month leases are good leases. Some people think 24-month leases. It really depends. I would like to keep a resident for 4 to 5 years, but having a 12-month lease is less scary for the resident. But you want to have an attorney review this lease. You don't just want to download something off the internet and then stick it in front of somebody who's potentially renting your house. Have an attorney look at that lease. All right. Number 4, establish your screening criteria. Now, this is probably the most important thing out of everything that you're going to do, and that is finding and placing the best resident for your property. This is highly important. This person or these people become your asset. It's no longer the house, it's the people living in the house that are your asset. And so you want to make sure that you find the right person or people. And to do that, you need to know what you're going to be asking them. So you need to have your screening criteria set out. So these are things like, are you going to pull their credit? If so, what is the credit criteria you're looking for? What about criminal background report? Think about those. What about misdemeanors or violent misdemeanors, felonies, things of that nature? You're just going to want to think about those. Also, income to rent ratio. What does that look like for you in your screening criteria? Just have that settled before you start taking applications. So that's number 4. Then number 5 is just make sure you get all the additional paperwork together. So some of that paperwork is going to be things like, once you know the criteria, getting your rental application together. You want to get credit check authorization forms together so that you have permission to pull credit. Next thing, you want to have any kind of additional disclosures that your state may require. Things like lead-based paint disclosures for houses built prior to 1978. What I think is wise is having a move-in checklist. And so what that means is right before the resident moves in, let's say they've signed the lease and we have the date is 3 days from now. You want to go back through the house, you want to take pictures, and you want to have a move-in checklist that you're marking and making sure, like, this is the condition of this property. That way, when they move out, you can go back through according to your checklist and look and make sure that it's just normal wear and tear, or if you need to note any tenant-related damages. Very, very important to keep all this documentation and make sure you have all of it on hand when the resident moves out. Yeah, so those are just additional documents that you need to be thinking about. And again, you can get this checklist right here on our website at evernest.co. Then number 6, so the last 2 things, walk through your property and create a punch list of items that need to be taken care of. Are there any walls that need to be painted? Are there any carpets that need to be replaced? Are there any holes that need to be patched? If you're taking pictures off of the wall, are there any holes that need to be patched? Go through and make a punch list. There's no doubt that there are things that need to be fixed. If you're competing with a house down the street or a house in the same area and their house is looks good and is clean and is fresh and yours is not, then your house will not get rented. And this is just the way it is. It's very competitive out there, and so you want to make sure your house is presented in a great manner, because if it's not, then the wrong foot to start your relationship with, like the wrong foot to put forward, is going to be just this, when the resident moves in, there's going to be a little bit of tension there, because they're going to say, well, what about this? Are you going to clean this? Are you going to paint this wall? And you're not probably going to do that, or else you would have already done it. But go through and make a punch list and then just address those items. I know that in my house, there are things that potentially don't work right now that don't bother me. But if a resident moved in, if somebody moved into my house and were renting it, they would be calling me and saying, Spencer, I want you to come and fix this doorknob, or whatever the case is, and I would have to do that, or else it would not be a good relationship, and that's not how you want to start that relationship. And then the last thing that you do before anything else is just clean the house, paint, do the carpet. So that punch list, get it done. And then additionally, I would say put a little bit of time and effort into landscaping. That curb appeal, you'll be surprised at how it catches people who are just driving by, catches their eye when they see a for rent sign in the yard. They'll look at initially they're going to judge your property on the way it looks outside, whether they want to even go online and look it up, whether they want to go in, have you tour them through the house. So before they see the inside, they're going to look at the outside, because that is an indication of how you're going to take care of the inside when they become your resident. So that's it. Those are the 7 things that your checklist. Again, you can download this on our website, go to our blog and look at all of our content there. You'll find a lot of great information to help you on your landlord journey. And as always, you can reach out to us, sales@evernest.co. We'll be happy to walk you through the process, answer any questions. And so if you don't want to do this yourself and you want to have a professional do it, we'd love to be the company for you. So we look forward to seeing you again, and I'll be back with another video of questions that owners ask.